Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Trader Main in motherfrickin' Dubai. I gotta stop swearing so much. I swear you can see. Look at that, the burrs right there. Your boy has been on the fucking road. I'm withering away, okay? Withering away. The neck, it's fading. Been gone since the 18th of friggin' April. No, March. And I'm sorry I haven't uploaded and stuff as much as I said I was going to. You can see I brought my camera and stuff. I had every intention of being more active, but Bali was nice and chill. Just needed a nice unplug. Market was chilling. Australia there for my best friend's wedding. It was awesome, but just didn't get a lot of work done. You know, a lot of boozing was done instead. And then got to Dubai, and well, in transit to Dubai. Australia is in the middle of fucking nowhere, by the way. 14 hours to get here. It takes me 14 hours to get home. But unfortunately, you know, we had the big move as usual when I am not completely locked in. So you're welcome for the volatility. Yeah, I'm not going to come on here and LARP like I'm some geopolitical expert and be like, the fucking war was in the chart, because I'm much better at LARPing as a trader. So I'll just stick to that. But we did have some escalations between Israel and Palestine. Not Palestine, excuse me, Israel and Iran, and, you know, Iran backed Palestine. I don't fucking know. I'm not getting involved. But the market corrected. Now, as terrible as it may sound, generally these kind of escalation and wartime kind of headlines generally provide a pretty good buy the dip opportunity in the past. As terrible as that may sound. Now, the logic behind it, kind of simple, right? You have, you know, fear of some type of escalation, some type of war. If Iran were to, you know, hit Israel and Israel were to retaliate, things escalated, the U.S. has to get involved, who knows? But it gives you a dump. And listen, if nukes are coming out, right, if you longed and everyone gets nuked anyways, you know, it doesn't matter. And if you long and we don't get nuked, we're probably going to bounce. And that seems to be what's happened so far. It's still a little early to tell. We got to wait and see how Monday New York Open happens. Is the dollar going to continue to rally? Is the S&P 500 going to correct further? But we've had a very strong move off the bottom. Now, I would like to think if I was at my computer actively looking at the charts like I normally do when I'm home and monitoring market structure, I could have handled this a little better. I did manage to get some good buys, so I shared a couple of those in the Haven. Also in Telegram, I talked about buying when we were at, you know, 62, 63K. I said, you know, this is an area where it's probably pretty good balance. Got a huge wipeout on alts. And on top of that, you had fucking GCR come in on a silver platter, a la Kobe in 2020, saying, hey, this is a good buying opportunity. So, you know, what else do you need there? So I punted some long, so I'll kind of go over that. I'd like to think I could have handled it better if I was locked in. I probably would have de-risked when I saw market structure shifting bearish on the higher time frames and kind of just that failure to break higher. I would have liked to think I would have de-risked a little bit better and been able to position myself better, but I did manage to make some decent pickups, so I'll cover those and kind of my thoughts on how to get involved. If you didn't buy this exact dip, you know, what are the invalidations? What are we looking for? Where could this potentially retest? All that kind of stuff. I've got some coins here that I'm looking at that I'll share with you and some ideas. Yeah, and then I'm here for 7 days. I'm here for Crypto Fight Night. So if you're in Dubai, if you're going to the fights, holla at your boy. I'm here till next Monday. I'd love to meet up with some of you guys. If you come to the fights, come say what up. It's always great to meet you guys. But yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start with Bitcoin. To me, you know, this is the easiest chart to read. We're still in this big range, right? And this is why I was so stoked kind of being on vacation, because, you know, we're just in this range the entire month that I've been away. You know, we haven't really done anything crazy, right? We've gone to the range low, to the range high, back near the low, back near the high, back near the low, and we're just oscillating, right? But what you're noticing is every time we've had one of these corrections, with this most recent one specifically, altcoins have been getting absolutely decimated, and that will be demonstrated when you most clearly when you look at the BTC dominance chart, because BTC dominance just broke up, and we had I mean, listen, this wasn't a tiny dump, right, on Bitcoin. I mean, people comparing this to the COVID crash, you know, tell me you weren't there without telling me you weren't there. But let's just call this, you know, 15%. We had some altcoins go down 30, 40, 50, 70, 80%, making, you know, new lows on their BTC pairs. That to me is a good thing, as crazy as it may sound, because it means one of two things, right? We're either, well, three potential things. I mean, one, the shitty situation is, you know, Bitcoin continues to sell off further. Maybe there's an escalation in the war. You know, I mean, these nations have kind of been warring nonstop forever, but, you know, maybe Israel strikes back at Iran or something, right? And then the markets nuke even harder and altcoins get smacked even harder than they just did. That is the worst case scenario. However, the glass half full scenario is one of two things in my opinion. One is Bitcoin dominance breaking up. We're about to see another major leg to the upside in Bitcoin. New all-time highs. This is the leg that, you know, maybe takes us to 90, 100K. That would be great. Number two of the glass half full scenarios is that Bitcoin is going to go up, but maybe it kind of goes sideways and it's contained, and we're gearing up for a fantastic alt season. You have Bitcoin, you know, not that far off of all-time high. You have Bitcoin dominance breaking up. When Bitcoin dominance cools off and Bitcoin cools off, and you have these alt BTC pairs, you know, hitting like the lows of their ratio. We had some alt prices from 6 months ago, right? I had buys from 6 months ago go underwater briefly on the dump. That is the recipe. That is the ingredients that you need for a mega alt season. So that's exciting to think about. So we'll kind of talk about that as well once we get into it. But looking at Bitcoin primarily, the H12, right? I kind of mapped this pretty well, and we played it pretty well. You know, we had the first dump here that we bought was this one actually. And again, I posted all of these while being away. I didn't trade all of them, but they were all posted and shared in Telegram and on Twitter because I was trying to keep you guys kind of in the loop. So we had this first retest here, boom, big push up. Second retest here, boom, big push up. And then this last one here that failed to generate a new high. So when you see this retest, so when I said, hey, I would have liked to have, you know, handled this a little bit better if I was locked in, seeing this retest here failed to give us a new high, and then that break in market structure there, I would have closed everything here. Okay, if and buts were candy and nuts, what a wonderful Christmas it would be. But I wasn't here, and I didn't do that. It's hindsight. But that's what I would have liked to think I would have done and how I would have reacted had I been paying attention. Is I would have seen the reaction. Okay, that's what we want to see. And then when we failed to make a new high, and then we broke H12 market structure, to me that would have been a sign to dial back some long exposure, cut longs, things like that. Because really, we needed to get above around here, right? Like this was kind of the high that was really tricky. Not even the range high, was this 71.8 kind of level, right? Deviation, resistance, deviation. So once it failed to get above this level cleanly, broke down, that would have been the sign to de-risk, in my opinion, if that's what you were looking for, if you trade like me. We also had a sweep on the daily, right? So daily SFP right there. Go down to your H1, right? What do we have here? H1 bearish structure very clearly. You have an inverted fair value gap there. The breaker is way the fuck down here. But even so, right, once we broke market structure on the hourly, which in theory is not down till here, same as that H12 low I was showing you, that's your sign to get the fuck out of this thing. And then again, on the H1, just more failures. And yeah, there's opportunities to short, whatever. I didn't get them. You're not going to catch every trade. But these types of moves where we get these massive OI flushes and these huge discounts on alts, they don't come that often in a bull run. Like if you're in the mindset that we're still in a bull run, which I am, and I would, you know, think many are as well, these types of opportunities, unfortunately, they're few and far between. Generally, you're oftentimes getting these quick little dips, right? You're buying the first dip and it's making a new high immediately, or you're buying into strength. When you get these really large flushes where you get these crazy discounts, you sometimes don't have a ton of time to act. But it is what it is. We got some buys. So what was my trigger for buying? So once we had this big sell-off here, to me, I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to buy at the range low. Okay, I'm ready to buy at the range low. So we came down. We didn't quite take out the range low. I don't remember exactly when GCR tweeted. Doesn't really matter. It was nice confluence, but I already started buying. But as soon as we close this as an H12 SFP, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take some longs because at the very least, we're going to get some mean reversion, right? And maybe it's only up to here. Maybe we get mean reversion up to here, right? Like this could be a lower high here and we can make a new low. This could be, into a higher low here, which is kind of my expectation. Or maybe we get one more push up, on New York Open, and then we get the higher low. I don't know. But my kind of estimation is, once we close this as a big wick SFP, it's worth punting. The risk reward is there. Just spot, because you saw how volatile shit was. Just was bidding spot, no leverage. So I started bidding. I got in Bitcoin. I think I have all my entries mapped out here. So my BTC entry was not even that good. 64,363. That's well off the bottom, right? So we're already up 7% off the low, but I'm up 4% on those entries, okay? TIA, I got in at 10, I think. I don't know why that line's not there. I got in around 10 on TIA. Solana, I got a great entry. Again, well off the bottom. Did I buy the low on Solana? No. But what I did is I went on, I looked at Solana. I'm like, okay, well, Bitcoin's putting in that SFP. Solana just retested a weekly order block from 2.5 months ago, and it's down, 40%. So that seemed like a pretty good nibble. But again, my entry was not that great, right? And I'm up 10%, and we're already, 40% off the low. You don't have to catch the exact low. And my tweet and Telegram message was you can scale into this, right? Maybe you get some really nice stink bids down here. Or maybe you're like me and you didn't get the best bids, but if we come in and put a higher low in here, I can add more, maybe average that down. Maybe I shave some off as we're coming into resistance, and I look to add on a dip. You don't need to just, kind of all in, try and catch the wick. That's obviously the dream scenario, but very hard to do. I think GCR even used the term scale in. I got in near around, I got in near at 516. And again, looked at the weekly chart. We have this big fair value gap here. We're retesting this kind of old price floor here, or high, excuse me. So I just bid that. Ethereum, big weekly sweep in the making here. Soon as we close the H12, right? As soon as this H12 on BTC closed, I looked at Ethereum BTC. I said, okay, I think this, which is never going to put in a bottom apparently. Maybe this time's different. But Ethereum BTC was starting to rebound. So I bid some Ethereum. That was probably my best entry. It was a little delayed. If you look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin was up at 64K, and Ethereum was still trading below 3K. And then the last day and a half, Ethereum's kind of outperformed. So that was probably my best entry out of all of them, was on Ethereum. Rollbit, I bought some more Rollbit token. Disclaimer, I work with Rollbit. But if you go look at my tweet, I bought Rollbit token around 9 and 10 cents well before I started working with them months ago. And I know this chart seems like it's doing nothing. And it is kind of, underperforming. But I think what a lot of people forget is this token already did 100x, right? It was less than a penny and it went as high as, 25 cents. They've airdropped all the supply. They're doing the buy and burn consistently. So whether or not you believe in the casino revenues or not, I can't do anything to convince you of that. But they're getting a ton of deposits in every single month. the company is buying the tokens are being bought and burnt relative to revenue, and they're doing a migration from Ethereum to Solana. Is it to Solana from Ethereum? Well, let me just double check so I don't misquote here. Yes, so they are migrating to Ethereum from Solana, and any tokens that don't migrate are going to be burned. So a lot of supply is getting burned. That's just narrative, right? But it adds into the price action. We have a weekly order block here, and we have a weekly sweep. So that's the first buys that I had were a couple months ago were based on this sweep, right? So we swept that low, just tagged that order block. So I bought some here. But we've now dug deeper into this. We've basically come and filled the EQ of the OB. It's a punt I'm willing to take. It's not crazy size or anything like that. But what I'm hoping is some of this, kind of meme money that people have made flows into some other altcoins, and we see, a flight to quality is a corny way to say it, but really a flight to some stuff other than just meme coins, because basically that's all that's really done anything. The majors haven't done much in the past month until the last 48 hours. ENA is another one I like. So it's a new coin, good narrative. So this is a coin that I think probably trades a lot higher. So I like this token as well. This is one I'm not positioning currently. I'm looking to buy this. This would have been a great buy, sub $1 here, but I'm looking to build a position in this. I'm also looking to build a position in BNB. I think BNB actually has a pretty good looking weekly chart. No one's talking about this. You kind of have the whole CZ SEC overhang completely gone. So I like this coin as well. I think if we get back above kind of, the breaker here on the H12, it could go gangbusters. Like I'm talking, assuming the market doesn't implode, like this could be, a 30 to 40% move that it's brewing up for here with this consolidation. So looking to build into this coin as well. Again, I'm dealing with probably some larger position sizes than maybe some of you. And so when I'm buying something like BNB Spot, that's already, a multi-billion-dollar asset, or something like a Rollbit, that is, 3, 4, 500 million, it's not going to have the same multiple as something that you want to buy that's a 500K market cap or a 500,000 market cap that can give you that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100x. But when you're playing with bigger numbers, the way you build your portfolio changes, right? I don't need a 50, I would love a 50 or 100x, right? But I'm not going to get $1 million of spot of a coin that, has a very, very small market cap. You know what I mean? Like those really small market cap coins that do go gangbusters, you can only get in small size, right? And then maybe they get bigger and you can buy more, of course. But if I can put $1 million into BNB and it's a high quality setup, in my opinion, and it can go up 20, 25%, that's meaningful money. Anyways, I digress. So overall, I've got some dip buys, right? So I posted about BTC, I posted about Sol, I posted about Ethereum. These are all the coins I'm kind of either in or I'm watching to get in on. So what I'm looking for on BTC is, where is this little bounce going to stop? Now, you have the kind of difficult question here, right? We had a big wipeout. We had a change of hands here, right? You have huge OI wipe, bunch of leverage players get nailed instantly at the bottom. Still right now, over $100 spot premium. So generally this is seen as, weak hands giving money to strong hands. And you're seeing leverage players, get blown out and get, the money getting sucked up by wealthy spot players. So we had a similar thing happen, kind of down here and at the COVID low, right? And this instant spot premium was another reason why I thought bidding, was a good idea. I mean, spot was instantly up $100, $200 on perps. Now I think funding's flipping negative. We have people shorting this. Now, it doesn't mean we can't go down further. It doesn't mean we can't make another low. But the kind of scenarios I'm looking for are very simple. Either a rejection from like right here, because you have kind of like trend lined resistance, sorta, right? If you're into that kind of thing, I don't know. But you have this order block as well. This is the H12OB that made the low, right? So above here, in my opinion, we probably actually make a new high, but there is a chance that, you know, maybe we come up a little high and reject. I don't think that's as likely, but I'm looking for price to effectively put in a higher low somewhere, right? So you have a couple of options, right? If you did not bid down here, what do? You just start buying, right? Do you just start buying a little bit and then have dry powder for any sort of dip? Do you wait for a dip? Well, then what happens if the dip doesn't come, right? So those are kind of the things that I can't tell you what to do. You need to figure out what you're comfortable with yourself. But for me, if we get any sort of correction here on Bitcoin, you know, 5 to 10%, not 10%, sorry, but like 5, 6, 7%, right? So from around here, maybe a little higher, and we come and retest, you know, 63.5 to 64,000. I would be looking to bid, and then I'd be using, you know, kind of a similar plan on these altcoins, right? So wherever this high ends up, you can pull your fib. So let's say this ends up being the high, right? You pull your fib from the low to the high, okay, a nice 5% correction puts us around the 50% there. Pull your fib from the low to the high here, right? Around a 50% correction from here as well. 5%, that would be about, maybe a little more. Yeah, 7% puts us around the OTE, right? So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for a higher low. I'm looking for a higher low. So Ethereum, I'd be looking from, you know, wherever this high is going to form, and I'm looking for a retracement towards kind of the 50.38, right? So the stronger the coin, and the bigger the impulse, if we're going to continue higher, right? Like if this coin looks really strong, it might only retrace to here, where Bitcoin retraces, you know, into its OTE. So those are you're gonna have to kind of monitor these things. But the way I'm playing it, right, effectively, is I'm gonna be looking to start just positioning myself on any sort of downside on these coins to compound on the exposure that I already have. So I'm hoping we get maybe, you know, 3, 5, 6% washout on Bitcoin. Maybe some altcoins go down 5 to 10%, and I'm looking to bid. I'm still of the belief that, you know, this is a bull market. I don't think the top is in. So if this is a reversal, I want to try and bid the higher low. The invalidation obviously is that big spike low there. It gives you a very clean invalidation. So let's assume Bitcoin is going to pull back to, you know, 63,800, right? So you're going to set your bid there, stop there, and I'm targeting all-time high, right? So the risk reward is good on any sort of pullback. So these are the kind of setups I'm going to be looking for. Here's the kind of coins I'm looking for them to happen on. My spot plays, so Gala, I'll have to update this chart, but I got a bunch of stink bids filled. I posted this run around, you know, 5 cents. I said, hey, I've got stink bids all the way down here. So I got filled on all of those. So that's awesome. So I'm up nicely on some of those buys already. This one's underwater, but I've split it up evenly where these lower buys, you know, my average is good. Some of these coins got smoked, right? So I was in this is at the price that I originally bought it from, right? So I bought Phil, I think at like $6 and I want to say like 27 cents, I believe was the big clip. And I targeted this high, and ultimately here. This is a big washout, right? So again, coins like this, like if we're going to go up, whether or not we get another low here or not, these are retests that, you know, you want to be looking to buy. So you want to go through those tokens that you like and just say, okay, hey, is this going to, you know, look at Sushi, right? Sushi went from 50 cents to $2, and now it's back down, you know, at $1. If the market's going to rally, I wouldn't be surprised if this eventually makes a new high. And if you look at these versus BTC, right, you can see a lot of these coins. This made new all-time lows versus Bitcoin, okay? So if the market is going to give us an alt season, what we're looking for really, right, is these capitulations and then reclaims And that's what is going to give you that alt season is BTC dominance going up, BTC strength, and then a correction, right? Like we just saw, causing the alt BTC pairs to get nuked. And then that's your buying opportunity. That's when you're going to get those really killer altcoin setups. So, I mean, you look at ETH BTC, right? ETH BTC made fresh lows, right? And what did BTC dominance do, right? Made a fresh high outside of this consolidation. So when eventually this cools down and all of those alt BTC pairs are near those range lows, and we've had a wipeout of leverage, and we've had a big reset in the USD values of them as well, that's when you can get some really, really crazy returns. And regardless of where you think we are in the cycle or how concerned you are with not buying the bottom and stuff, a bulk of the money that is going to be made in this cycle is going to come after Bitcoin tops out. When that money flows into altcoins, and you're going to see a lot of these crazy altcoins, some old, lots of new ones, do crazy multiples. So there's still lots of opportunity out there. So, nothing to fret about. So I know this video is a little disjointed and probably pretty long, but hopefully, kind of gave you a little bit of insight in terms of, what I'm looking at and things like that. So if you enjoy it, like, retweet, share, all that good stuff. I'm back home next week. We're back on the content grind. We're back to trying to make some money. I got to pay for all this fucking money I just spent traveling. I've literally circumnavigated the globe. I went from Vancouver to South Korea, Korea to Bali, Bali to Australia, Australia to Dubai, and then Dubai back to Toronto, and then Toronto back to Vancouver. So I literally have flown around the globe, all to just give you guys volatility. So if you appreciate that, let me know. And if you're in Dubai, hit me up. Be here for a week. All right, guys, talk to you later. Peace.